The views and opinions expressed
Good afternoon, everyone. Good afternoon. Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Welcome to our free live webinar, Building Future Ready HR Leadership, Driving Sustainability Through Synergy and Innovation. I am Kate, and I will be with you this afternoon as your host. I am very excited because we are going to learn a lot from our speaker this afternoon. But before we get to know her, I have a few reminders just to make sure that our webinar will be running smooth. First, Ariva is committed to protecting your privacy, hence stricter security of this webinar has been implemented. So for better viewing of your Zoom experience, we encourage you to please update your Zoom application by visiting their website. And for our participants who are using their mobile gadgets right now, you can go to either the Google Play Store or the Apple Store so you can download and install the Zoom app. Okay, now I want to know, do we have participants who's joining an Ariva Academy webinar for the first time? If that's a yes, can you type hi in the chat box? And then you can also let us know, where are you located? Are you just here in Metro Manila? Or are you located somewhere in the province? Would love to know your exact location. From Pasig, from Quezon City, from Bulacan, Batangas, Valenzuela CDO, Cebu, from Davao, Zamboanga, Makati, Canada, hello, Nueva Vizcaya, Bulacan, Zamboanga City, from Cavite, from Quezon City, from Laguna, from Aklan, from Cagayan de Oro. Yes, I have here, I know we also have from Aklan, from Pampanga, from Bataan, from Baguio, from Batangas, from Cebu, to our friends who are affected by the storm. I hope everyone is somewhere safe right now. We also have friends from Iloilo, from Davao, from Jensan, from Lano del Norte, from Ilocos Sur, from Bicol, from Misamis Oriental. That's Laguna Technopark, Pangasinan. Yes, Pampanga, Dipolog. From Davao del Norte, from Olongapo, from Samar, from South Cotabato. We have from Mexico, Pampanga. There you go, John. Good thing you mentioned that. I thought you were just from Mexico. from Bicol, from South Cotabato, from Tacloban, from Davao del Sur, from Vigan, from Zamboanga. So, to all of our participants here in Luzon, in Visayas, in Mindanao, good afternoon. And to our friend who is in Canada right now, hello. We are very happy to have you here with us. Now, this next one is really important. Let's do this. Let's do an audio check, okay? Type a 111 in the chat box if you can hear me loud and clear. You can also type 222 if you can't hear anything, or type 2121 if you can hear me but the sound is choppy or I am breaking up. Type question mark if you don't understand what's happening. We will try to help you out. Let me check the chat box. I'm seeing a lot of 111s and I'm seeing a few 2121. Okay, if ever you're having trouble with your audio, you might want to use earphones or earbuds so that you can really hear the discussion clearly. Sayang kasi if you will be missing out some of the discussion. Okay, so we really want you to hear everything. And I also would like to say hi, not just to our participants here in Zoom, but those who are watching us via the live stream. So hello, everyone, and good afternoon. Now, later we'll have a 10-minute break. I will be announcing that before that happens, and something exciting will be happening during that break time as well. Now, I would like to invite everyone to be one of the subscribers of our Facebook page. You can look for Ariva Academy here in Facebook. And, okay, this one, you will have access to the free live webinar if you are a subscriber, because we are live streaming it in Facebook, but it is exclusive for those who have subscribed to our Facebook page. So just in case napuno na ang Zoom and you still want to be able to join and listen to our topic this afternoon, if you are a subscriber of the Facebook page, it's very easy because you will have access to that and all the next free live webinars, because it will all be live streamed in Facebook. But again, that will be exclusive only for those who have subscribed. So here is the QR code so that you can be one of our subscribers. I'll give you a few more moments to be able to scan that so that you will really have access to all the next free live webinars. So there you go. Thank you for that. Now, you can also go to our YouTube channel and have access to all the past free live webinars because we are posting it in our YouTube channel, Ariva Academy Philippines Incorporated. There you go. And for the activity that we will have during this break time, you have to be a part of this Ariva Academy Viber community. The activity will be exclusive for members of this Ariva Academy Viber community. So as early as now, you can scan this QR code. Later during the break time, we are going to give away GCash prizes. Again, only for those who are a part of the Ariva Academy Viber community. So if you are not yet a part of that, scan the QR code that we are showing para may chance for you to get that GCash prize that we are going to give away later. So very exciting. You are going to learn a lot from our speaker today, but at the same time, may chance manalo ng GCash prize. So there. Okay, now participants' microphones will be temporarily disabled by our administrator during the discussion just to avoid interruptions. We won't be able to ask you to unmute. So instead of unmuting and asking your question, you can type your questions in the chat box. I will be monitoring that. And then before we end our session later this afternoon, we will have a Q&A portion. That is where we will be reading the questions so that our speaker can address them. An e-certificate of attendance will be awarded to participants who will successfully complete this virtual masterclass, and they will be available 3 to 5 working days after this learning session. And yes, it will be for all, not just for our Zoom participants, but for those who are watching via the live stream, you can also get the certificate. Just make sure that you will give us the complete and correct email address so that you will really receive your e-certificate. And make sure that you will also answer the feedback form that we will be posting here in the chat box before we end our session. Thank you. So there you have it. Now, before I introduce our speaker, let me just announce that today is a very special day for Ariva Academy. Because this free live webinar is very special because we are spending our 19th anniversary with all of you. So Ariva Academy is 19 years old already, and that is today exactly. So we are spending it with you, with our dear participants here in Zoom and via the live stream. We are truly grateful for the 19 years that we have spent with our speakers, with our participants. And today is going to be very special because we are all going to learn a lot as we celebrate 19 years of Ariva Academy. So now I am ready to introduce our speaker. Our speaker this afternoon is a fellow in people management. She led the HR community as the 2021 president of the People Management Association of the Philippines. At the height of the COVID-19 crisis, she ensured business continuity and membership engagement, delivering a financial turnaround for the organization. She led the pivot to online delivery of services with the first digital annual conference and the first and second digital summits. Today, our speaker is a consulting partner working to enable businesses and empower people as a catalyst for growth. So, ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome our speaker, Ms. Lynn Mukhi.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you very much, Kate, for that introduction. And
Most welcome.
happy anniversary, Ariva. It's my
Thank
pleasure to celebrate your 19 years today with you and to give you this gift of my talk in behalf of Ariva Academy, the Ariva team, in celebration of your 19th anniversary. For all the people we have in our audience today, congratulations for being here, especially for the people who are from Cebu. My heart goes out to you, and I want you to know that today's topic is actually something that would make an impact in your organizations and in your communities so that we will be better prepared, I hope and I trust, in the future to be able to cope with calamities. That's part of driving sustainability. So if you're ready, Kate, is it all right? I will begin my screen sharing right now.
Yes,
I'd like to tell the participants not to worry about taking notes, right? We will be happy to do a follow through of this session if you would like us to, and provide you more information. All right, so our topic for today is driving sustainability through synergy and innovation. When we think about sustainability, what comes to your mind? When you think about synergy, what comes to your mind? And when you think about innovation, what are the things that you think about? These are three ideas that I will help you to go deeper into in terms of understanding it. And if for some reason we run out of time today, please rest assured I'm always happy to reach out to you as part of our community here in Ariva. You can connect with me through my LinkedIn page. You have it on screen. Just look up Lynn Mukhi. Let me share with you why this topic is special to me. As I grew my career, got involved with many different organizations, and at the same time saw how our people have grown through the years, and most especially through the lockdowns, the COVID 2020 years, all the way to today. We've seen us survive, and not just survive, thrive in the midst of all of these challenges. I've come to see that when we look at sustainability, one, it's very important that the organizations and the businesses that we serve continue to grow and to thrive. Hence, I identified my first role, which I'm sharing with you. Hopefully, you will see this and come to develop your own framework for your role in the organizations where you serve as a business partner and a growth catalyst. There is no end to learning and growing. We keep learning, we keep growing. Our businesses will continue to grow as long as we see ourselves as partners, working in synergy and in collaboration. Through that synergy and collaboration, we create experiences for ourselves as well as our people. I loved it when we started the session playing music that's happy and uplifting. It's part of your learning experience today to start off with happy vibes, right? When you think of the companies where you serve, it's not, unusual that there will be challenges, there will be stress, there will be pressure. But depending on how we work together, how we partner with each other, we create that experience for ourselves, for our employees. So if we think of ourselves as co-creators of experience, we don't blame each other for things that go wrong, but we think in terms of what can we do better to address this situation. Hence, that leads me now to being a sustainability and innovation advocate. I do not work for just the purpose of having a job. Early on in my career, I have learned that the most fulfilling way is to have a sense of purpose, to look towards a vision that is bigger than who you are, bigger than your dreams, to see how in the grand scheme of life, we're really small people contributing to that overall universe where we have so many people with their own aspirations. Hence, our role is to think of sustainability, of how we can contribute and build a legacy that will live beyond our time. And to do that, we need to innovate. We need to constantly reinvent and think of new ways by which we can address challenges and problems together. And that's where being an innovation advocate comes in. These three ideas have shaped my role, my understanding of what it means to be a business partner and growth catalyst, a co-creator of experience, and a sustainability and innovation advocate. I hope you're all seeing my screen. Let me just do a quick check. If you're seeing my screen, I'll do what Kate did earlier. Just please type yes if you're seeing it and you're able to view it well on the chat box. Thank you very much. I see the responses coming in now. So let me move on. What would be HR's role as we see the world changing? For those of us who are in HR, which is my field, I started off really as a humble consulting associate with a management consulting firm doing management assessments fresh out of college. And as the years evolved, my career grew as well as I continued to learn and get involved with other functions in HR. In the past 5 years, what I have seen and what I can truly advocate for is that HR's role will evolve with changing scenarios. We're no longer just doing transactions for payroll, for operations. We're no longer just even recruiting. I have had the privilege of sitting in boardrooms, advising CEOs and board members on how we can address challenges through, these are my 3 key points, strategy, leadership, and technology. Strategy is important because that is how we would grow our businesses and adapt to trends and disruptions. We need to make sure that our strategy execution creates value. It's not strategy just for the sake of strategy alone. We have to make sure that we create value for our organization. What will be different? What will be of added value because of our participation? We as leaders need to be agile. We do not have the luxury of months or even years of trying to think about what to do, or even weeks when a scenario comes, whether it's a calamity or whether it's a business planning session or whether it's executing the business plans. We need to learn to be agile, to think fast, and to think even while we're taking action. And that's how we become transformative leaders. being agile and innovation comes together, because when you're agile, you're innovating. And when you're innovating, you have to be agile. You don't have the answers all the time right away. That's why strategy is important, leadership is important, and you need to think even while you are iterating or while you are changing ways of working. Flexible resource deployment would allow us to be able to accomplish our goals. We should not think in terms of job descriptions. We shouldn't think in terms of fixed organization structures. We need to think about being flexible, being able to adapt as times go along, change where change is needed, and to use technology to co-create the people experience. Technology, especially AI, is going to be our source of leverage, our superpower, when we put it together with the human touch and our human connections. Sometimes people say, oh my gosh, AI is going to take my job away. And people are saying, oh, there will be less jobs because AI will take over our jobs. I will assure you at the beginning of this session, remember, who invented AI are humans. As long as we are agile, we think strategically, we innovate, we will remain relevant, and we will actually use technology to increase our sense of fulfillment, to increase efficiencies, to increase effectiveness, and by that, we use technology to co-create the people experience. So HR's role is evolving. Do not think in terms of transactions and administrative processes. These are things you master and serve as foundations. But when you're thinking of the future, our role will evolve. We will address challenges through strategy, leadership, and technology. How we will champion business adaptability. There are two ways by which we will champion this. One is through our personal leadership impact. Every leader, whether you're in HR, you're in operations, you're in the business, should advocate for business-driven systemic change. What do I mean by that? Right? We need to anchor the reason why we do things and why we change our systems and processes towards a very clear purpose. We need to think beyond profit, think beyond immediate results, think beyond our personal interests. Leaders, if you think about servant leadership or leadership that goes beyond your times, goes beyond your personal purposes, there's a lot of sacrifice involved because you have to think bigger than your immediate scenario. You're constantly thinking about what is the purpose of my organization and how do I align my leadership impact towards that purpose. If you say, you know, my organization is still new, we're not yet purpose driven, we're just trying to survive and we're trying to create profit so that we will have sustainability for our business, I would like to advise you, it's purpose that should be the foundation. Because when you're thinking profit alone, at some point there will be conflicts that will not be resolved. Because people will start thinking of their personal interest. But when you think purpose, we can align our efforts and our aspirations so that our leadership impact becomes wider than what we are able to accomplish as individuals. Sustainable innovation. We can scale. You know, if you're coming from a global organization, you're working across different time zones. I'm glad we have that person from Canada today, and I'd like to make a shout out to you. I can just imagine, you know, you're losing sleep because of our time zone differences. When we think of our organizations and more in the Philippine economy, we become more and more dependent on the global community for our ability to continue to drive revenues and to bring business to the country. We need to be able to scale and sustain our impact with technology. And that's where innovation, sustainable innovation comes in. HR cannot do this alone. as an organization within the company, as a department, as a division, we need to model multi-stakeholder partnerships. Collaboration is key for us to amplify our leadership impact. We cannot be designing programs in a silo. We need to promote governance mechanisms. And to do that, you need to coordinate, collaborate with your compliance, your risk management, your corporate sustainability department. We need to put in governance mechanisms that will enable accountability. We need to be willing, if we are able to seek an independent party, a third-party partner to monitor our own performance. That's why there are certifications, for example, for governance, for matters like our processes, our procedures. This can be, This can be assessed and evaluated. We need to submit our processes, our systems and programs to be audited so that we can monitor our performance. And when we do that, it makes us shift our leadership behaviors and transcend self-interest. It's not easy being audited because we spend a lot of time designing our processes, right? But because we design it ourselves, we would often need somebody else, and that's where consultants come in, to look at it and say, is this really the best design? Is this the most appropriate? Will this stand stress? Will this be able to enable you to think about 3-5 years from now? Does it have governance built into it? When our leadership impact thinks along those lines, we will create stronger organizations, more sustainable mechanisms, and this we do through multi-stakeholder partnerships. Let me go to the next idea, that of sustainable innovation. The United Nations has rolled out years ago the United Nations 17 Sustainable Development Goals. These are dreams for the whole world, and the Philippines, being a developing country, would certainly benefit from adopting these sustainable development goals. These goals should help us to design our corporate responsibility, our corporate sustainability programs. When we think of CSR events, and when we organize them for our organizations, at the first level, what I see is people volunteering for cleanup drives, clean up the Pasig River, plant trees, paint classrooms. All very good, I would say, very worthwhile activities. I would like to encourage you to think bigger, because activities, while they make a difference for that moment, for that community, I'm sure children are happy to come into a classroom that is newly painted. People who live along the Pasig River benefit from our efforts to clean it up. Those who plant trees, you're thinking of future generations enjoying nature, enjoying good, clean air. These are activities which can be expanded if we now think in terms of the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. This can be linked to the type of industry and the organization that you serve. Because these are huge goals. There's no way that one country or one community or one company can address all of this. You think in terms of no poverty, zero hunger, good health and well-being, quality education, huge goals. Now, I'd like to encourage you, think in terms of the industry where your company is in. If your company is in charge, let's say, of manufacturing food, think in terms of how can we design our processes so that we're able to sell this at a lower price, more affordable for communities, people who may not be able to afford high-price premium items. That's where innovation comes in. You're now starting to think, not in terms of profit, because the profits will come as you are able to sell to more people, but you're now thinking in terms of sustainable innovation. What can we do in the manufacturing process that will enable us to release our products faster at less cost? When you think, for example, of the goal of good health and well-being, if you're in the medical industry, think, how can you make your services more accessible, especially for people who live in the rural areas where there may not be easy access to medical services? That thinks beyond where you are today. If your business is in education, think in terms of what can you do so that you are able to provide affordable, quality education to underprivileged people, those who cannot afford to go to the top schools, the private schools, or even go overseas for education. Education is key to building a country. And if you can think in terms of how you can make your educational services more affordable, more accessible to many more people, you're now thinking along the lines of sustainable development. So there's 17 of them. I would encourage you, go to this site, https://sdgs.un.org/goals, and you will see more material where you can study these sustainable development goals, a lot of educational resources on how you can apply this for your company. I would like to jump, let's say, to sustainable goal number 8, right? Decent work and economic growth. HR, if we are talking to mostly HR practitioners here today, we have a lot of impact on this. Decent work. How do we define our work arrangements? How do we design our policies? How do we design our compensation structures so that we're more equitable in terms of reducing inequalities, which now links to goal number 10. If we're saying we pay top salaries to our top executives, great. I know, because we pay according to job responsibility, accountability, impact, the education, the responsibility that it carries. But how can we think in terms of cascading profits through rewards programs that would include not just the top leaders, not just management, but all the way to the frontliners, the people who work at rank and file jobs who are getting minimum wage? They are part of our organization too, and the work they do contributes to our profits as well. So how can we make our reward systems more inclusive? These are questions that I hope you would reflect on as you think about sustainable innovation. Let's look at the Philippine context. The 17 Sustainable Goals of the United Nations was rolled out globally, and each country has started to think about how this can be rolled out, depending on the scenarios and the relevance of each goal to the country that it is designing the programs for. For the Philippines, we have what we used to know as NEDA, which is now the Department of Economy, Planning and Development, the Department of Science and Technology, Department of Trade. We have our government agencies who collaborate and design programs that would help us roll out and implement the sustainable goals in collaboration with private sectors. So you see, multi-stakeholder partnerships, public and private collaboration, and then within each company, collaboration across different functions. I'd like for you to look this up, Google it. There are a lot of material again showing us what's going on in the country. The first one I'd like to bring up is Ambition Natin 2040. You know this? This is something that has been rolled out already, and it will show us what's the plan for our country all the way to 2040. We also have Republic Act number 11293, the Philippine Innovation Act. If you read this, you will see that there's a lot of resources. There are funding opportunities offered to small and medium-sized businesses so that you have access to expert guidance, access to funding so that you can grow your businesses. Having small to medium-sized businesses is the backbone for stability for every country. There's also the Trabajo para sa Bayan Act. This talks about how we can generate more employment opportunities for our people and create jobs. Now, of course, as you create more jobs, you need also to think about taxes. And so there are tax incentives and economic development plans in the Philippines through the Create More Act. That's RA 12066. Very good initiatives. Government is a very challenging space for leaders to be in. I have worked with some of our large government institutions in organizational transformation projects, helping to redesign structures, engage in strategic planning to help our leaders, our professional career service professionals in government, to be abreast with what we have in the private and corporate sectors. And as we work together, we can make these plans a reality for the people we serve, hence contributing to sustainable development of our country. Let us look at Ambition Natin 2040. If you see the play on words, it's vision, right? It's our vision for our country. To achieve AN 2040, we note that there are several aspects which are part of it. And as you read through the key components of Ambition Natin 2040, you will see that it's really something that speaks to every individual. First, we want an adequate level of income, as well as affordable goods and services that we can enjoy life's comforts. That's something that we can resonate with, right? Why do we look for jobs? We want to be able to afford a decent lifestyle. Why do we seek career growth? We want to be able to grow our personal wealth so that we can be more comfortable, enjoy life's comforts, as well as be able to contribute and give to others. We want not a life that's solely about work, where there's no quality, no well-being, but we want to be able to bond with family, friends, and the community. Free time for travel and vacation, experiencing work-life balance and health. This is part of the dream, I would say, for every Filipino or for every individual in this world. We want people to have adequate savings so that when there are emergency expenses, they're not caught unprepared. If a typhoon comes and destroys your property, you're able to make repairs. We want people to have the security of having their own house and preparing for retirement. These are basic securities. It's not just about food, clothing, and shelter. We want food, clothing, and shelter at a decent level. That's part of creating a sustainable society. And if we have good governance, we can achieve Ambition 2040 easier, make things more affordable, accessible for our fellow men. Let's look at this in more detail, right? And I have here Tagalog words taken from the Ambition Natin 2040 statement. We want life that is matatag, stable, maginhawa, comfortable, panatag, having a strong sense of security. Bring this now to your organizations and think of your employees. Are we able to provide them a sense of security, a sense of community? Do we respect time with family, time with friends, work-life balance? I still see, sad to say, organizations where we have young people or even more mature people working 12, 14, 16 hours a day. And trust me, I've been there myself because we want to work hard. But wouldn't it be a great vision if within our HR programs, we think about how can we distribute work so that we create security, but at the same time, we allow our people to enjoy a steady sense of having secure jobs without having to work to death. Working to that is no longer what we want. We went through the COVID crisis and we learned that life can change drastically. So we want people to experience life on a day-to-day basis with security, with well-being. You see, that's part of our role as co-creators of experience. Maginhawa of or comfortable, I still see many people who are drowning in debt, living from payroll to payroll. Or worse, nakasanla ang ATM payroll card. They haven't even gotten their pay yet. It's already no longer in their hands. That's not the way we want our people among our employees to live, living payroll to payroll. We want them to be able to save. So think in terms about providing comforts. And this is where we think about total rewards programs, cooperatives within our community, savings programs, contributions to retirement. We can design, instead of a fixed retirement program, a defined contribution program wherein people have the chance to contribute so that they can earn more, because the funds that they contribute to are pulled together with the funds of the other employees. That will help to lead towards a panatag or secure future wherein they can think of retiring with comfort, with peace and security, enjoying a long and healthy life. We have older people, seniors, who are dependent on their children to give them a decent living because they were not able to save for retirement. What we want to see are people looking at retirement with enjoyment because they have a sense of security. And if you choose to work with beyond retirement, it's because you choose to work, not because you have to work. And then that now creates a more fulfilling life of somebody who's able to achieve his fullest potentials. This shows you the future that we do not want. And sad to say, we still have it with us today. I bring this up because we've just seen in the past week how distress and disasters really can debilitate our communities, and suddenly people have no homes. They cannot work because the home is destroyed. There's no internet, there's no electricity, water is not safe to drink. We need to work together, and we may not achieve it today. We may not even achieve it within the next 5 years or within our lifetimes. This is a constant aspiration. When you think sustainability, we create a future wherein we are not defeated by disasters. We can't help it. By the nature of where the Philippines is located, we have typhoons coming in very, very often. But we can build our infrastructure in society so that we are prepared for both natural and human-induced hazards. We need to be quicker to change. We don't want to be mabagal or slow to change, slow to address key challenges, and trailing behind our other countries around us. Hence, we say we need creativity, innovation, and critical thinking. And we need together to speak up in our organizations. When we see that something is wrong, when there's a leadership action that's not right, we need to have the courage to speak up and say, we want to work together to help address our challenges. We have so much inequality. That's why the term langit lupa is still something that's prevalent today. We have people who are enjoying so much luxury. And it makes me very sad to see influencers online with their blogs showing designer bags, designer shoes, so much luxury in a country where there are so many who are poor. That's why leadership is both an individual commitment as well as a collective commitment. We need to be aware of inequalities and work towards reducing those inequalities. This work that I do, doing seminars, helping to educate my people that are able to reach out to me, this is part of my purpose. If I share with you these ideas, these resources for educating yourselves so that we are able to build better organizations. This is my own way as an individual by which I can help to create a better community, a better organization, helping to reduce inequalities. Why is sustainability so difficult to achieve? We've been talking about this, and I'm sure you have thoughts in your mind going on, and perhaps you're saying, Lynn, these are all beautiful ideas, nice aspirations, nice dreams, but so difficult to achieve. If that's something that you're thinking about, you can type on the chat box. Have there been times when you have almost lost hope and you're now just thinking of day to day what you can do? Why do you think is sustainability difficult to achieve? I'll give you a few moments to think about that. If there's somebody who has a response, just feel free to type it in the chat box. Why do you think is sustainability difficult to achieve? What stops us? Right? I see here a response. No support management. Yes. Resources are limited. That's correct. Poor governance. Exactly. And sometimes, okay, there are people who are too extravagant. We have companies also who have extravagant events, changing priorities, limited resources, politics. Yes. Poor implementation. It's so much easier to say we have a program and we can design this, but the moment we execute, it becomes another challenge altogether. Resistance to change and too much expectations. We need to calibrate also our goals so that we can achieve a certain level of success. We cannot change everything, but we should not allow our challenges to make us stop and change nothing. One of my favorite sayings that I've heard a long time ago is this: the biggest danger in life are the people who want to change everything or to change nothing. These are two extremes, and we want to make sure that we don't fall into that extreme. So we're going to have a 10-minute break at this point. Think about why is sustainability difficult to achieve, and when we come back from the break, we will now think of solutions or actions that we can adopt. Thank you very much. I'm going to stop sharing at this point to give way for our very exciting activity on this 10-minute break.
Thank you so much, Miss Lean. Hi, good afternoon, everyone. So yes, as our speaker has mentioned, we are having a very exciting activity during this break time. And as I've mentioned a while ago, we're going to give away Gcash prizes. But again, this activity is meant for only for those who are a part of the Ariva Academy Viber community. So we're giving you one more chance to join the Ariva Academy Viber community. You can scan this QR code. That will be very easy. Once you scan it, you'll find yourself inside the Viber community already. And once you are inside, please look for RV Ariva. Again, look for the Viber community admin, RV Ariva. That is where you will be sending your answer. You won't be able to chat in the Viber community chat, okay? Only by sending your answer privately to our Viber community admin, RV Ariva. That's the only way. So I hope everyone is able to scan that because we are looking for 2 winners this afternoon. Each winner will be receiving 200 pesos, and we will be sending that to your GCash account. Yay, congratulations in advance. So I hope everyone is ready because I am excited to start this game. And the game is called Guess the Movie, and this is how it goes. Okay, you will be watching short clips or short trailers of some movies. Madali lang naman yan, don't worry. And you have to give me the complete and correct title. Again, we are looking for the complete and correct title, and you have to send that to RV Ariva. So I hope everyone is ready, but for all of us to be on the same page, just to make sure that everyone really understood the rules of this game, let's do a trial run. I want you to start watching this movie, but there's no prize yet. Okay, but I need your answers for this one. Let's watch it.
Princess Mia.
Mia Thermopolis has everything a girl could ever want.
I have my own mall. I'm glad you like it. This is so cool!
Except the one thing she's always dreamed of.
I'm ready for a romantic fairy tale love.
Okay, you're seeing the answers that you are sending as well. So let me see the answers that you have sent. I'll try to scroll. Medyo marami agad ang nag-send. So, looking at your answers. Princess Diaries. Okay, Princess Diary. Princess Diaries. The Princess Diaries. Okay, so some answers, different answers. The Princess Diary, Princess Diaries, Princess Diary, and the Princess Diaries. Any other? Princess Diaries 2. Okay, so those are the answers that I am seeing right now. But let's reveal the title of that movie. It is The Princess Diaries 2 Royal Engagement. So I don't think anyone got it, but don't worry, good thing. This is just a trial run. Walang nakakuha. Again, I just would like to remind all of our participants that we are really looking for the complete and correct answer. The spelling should be correct. Walang extra words. Walang missing words. It has to be the exact title of the movie. Okay, so get ready. This next clip is worth 200 pesos. Let's watch this. Okay, ayan. You are seeing how fast the answers are arriving right now. Let me try to catch up here in the chat box. We have Space Jam. Any other answer? Looney Tunes, Space Jam. Oh, was that Slam Dunk? Okay. Space Jam, Looney Tunes, Slam Dunk. Any other? The Space Jam. We also have Space Jam 2. Looney Tunes, Space Jam. Okay. Space Jam, Get Ready to Jam. Okay, so those are the answers that you are sending. But let us really find out. What is the title of that movie? And yes, it is Space Jam. A very simple answer, very simple title. But a lot of you got it correct. Pero we have one person who was able to send that answer very, very fast. And because of that, he is our winner. So congratulations to the first one who sent the answer. That is Meldrick de Guzman. Congratulations, Meldrick. Meldrick, you will be receiving 200 pesos in your GCash. So this is what you have to do. To RV Ariva, you have to send us your GCash account number and GCash account name, okay? We will be waiting for that. And then Meldrick, because you are a winner already, you won't be able to join the game anymore. So that we will be giving chance to our other participants, okay? Again, congratulations. And to the rest of our participants, meron pang isa. So don't worry, may isa pang 200 pesos. Let's watch this. Okay. Seeing your answers now, you're sending them. Just keep them coming. Let me try to read the messages you've sent, the answers. We have High School Musical. Okay, so there are variations. There's high school with 2 words and high school with just 1 word. High School Musical. High School Musical 2, High School Musical 1. Any other answers? I am trying to check. Okay, High School Musical 3, The Graduation. So those are the answers that I'm seeing. Mostly you've sent High School Musical. The variation is High School with one word and High School 2 words. Let us now see. What is the correct title of that movie? And it is High School Musical, and high school is 2 words instead of just 1 word. So congratulations to our last winner this afternoon. Congratulations to HR Nicole. HR Nicole, congratulations. You got that right. So there you go. We will be waiting for your GCash details. Send that to RV Ariva, please. Okay, we'll be waiting for that, and wait for your prize because we are about to send that in a little while. So to our 2 winners who are 200 pesos richer this afternoon, Meldrick and Nicole, congratulations. Now, I'll move on with my other announcements. First, stay on top of our insights and updates. Stay connected with Ariva Academy. You can join our Facebook group. You can also like our Facebook page. You can follow us in LinkedIn. And yes, you can visit our website as well, ariva.com.ph. And a while ago, I mentioned that the game is exclusive for the members of the Ariva Academy Viber community. But I am seeing answers that are sent elsewhere. Nagsisend sila sa chat box. Does it mean hindi pa kayo nakasali kasi sa ating Ariva Academy Viber community? So I will be giving you another chance. Okay. Here again is the QR code. Scan this QR code so that whenever you join our activities, you get a chance in bringing home that GCash prize. Diba sayang naman? All you have to do is be a part of this exciting community. And we have another good news for everyone who is inside our Ariva Academy Viber community. Currently, we have 9,852 members. And we have a goal for 2025, and that is to reach 10,000 members. So konti na lang. We are about to reach that goal. 10,000 members. And, okay, listen carefully. Once we reach the 10,000 goal, once we have 10,000 members, we will be raffling off, exclusive for those who are in the Viber community of Ariva Academy. We are going to raffle off seats for our upcoming learning events. Imagine that. You are inside the Viber community. You get a chance to join our games and join our future learning events as well for free. So there you go. If you are not yet inside that Viber community, this QR code is still here. Scan it right now. There you go. So help us reach that goal. 10,000 strong members of the Ariva Academy Viber community. I hope you are one of them already. Thank you for that. Now, I also would like to invite again our participants to join the Ariva Academy Facebook page. Become one of our subscribers and have access to exclusive content. Have access to exclusive content like the free live webinars that is being live streamed here in Facebook. So if you are a subscriber, automatically you will have access to that. Just in case hindi kayo makapasok sa Zoom because napuno na ang ating Zoom room for our free live webinars, it will be very easy for you because it is also on Facebook. It is being live streamed there. Scan this next QR code so that you can subscribe to our Facebook page, Ariva Academy. So there you go. Another QR code, so don't keep your gadgets yet because this time this is for the Ariva Academy Facebook group. You will learn what is the latest in Ariva Academy here in our Facebook group. So scan the QR code right now. And another one, this time it's for the HRD Academy Facebook group. If you are an HR practitioner or you have colleagues who are HR practitioners, send this QR code to them so that they can be a part of this exciting Facebook group. Again, this is the HRD Academy Facebook group wherein they can connect with their fellow HR practitioners. And also, you get updates about what is new in the HR community as well. And let me again invite you to go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube channel, Ariva Academy Philippines Incorporated. You will have access to all the past free live webinars. We started offering the free live webinars in 2020, and up to now, we are still doing that. And we have no plans of stopping it yet. So you know that you will really learn a lot from this YouTube channel, Ariva Academy Philippines Incorporated. Subscribe to that channel right now. And if ever you are interested in inviting a speaker to conduct an in-house training, you're looking for a speaker for a certain topic, here are some of the programs that we offer. But we have a lot more than that, okay? So all you have to do is give us a call or send us an email, and then we will help you partner with the right speaker under Ariva Speakers Bureau for that. Now, I would like to invite you to some of our upcoming learning events. We have another free live webinar that will happen next week. That is November 11th, 7 Elements of Team Quotient. Learn how to understand your team quotient points. On November 13th, Advanced Credit Management and Small Claims Court Tactics. And then the following day, we have Advanced Office Management and Administration Skills. Winning Strategies for Collective Bargaining Success. That will be on November 18th. C5 Roadmap to Peak Performance. That is the topic on November 19th. And then join us. This one will be on November 21. We have 2 topics. In the morning, harassment-free workplace. In the afternoon, cyber crime and cyber libel in the workplace. So those topics will be discussed on November 21. And join us for November 26, results-oriented time management strategies. And this is on November 27 already. Train the Trainer 360 Degrees, Essential Skills for Modern Corporate Trainers. And join us December 2, Demystify Payroll Law and Fringe Benefit Tax Strategies. Another free live webinar, this time this is on December 3, Wings of Leadership. December 5, Coaching and Mentoring Skills for Optimum Performance. And 2 topics that will be on December 9, Withholding Tax Compliance Simplified and Mastering Annual and Corporate Income Tax Returns for Full Compliance. On December 10, we have our 12th Effective Technical and Report Writing Skills for Peak Performance. So all of those programs, if ever you're interested in joining any of the programs for November or December, all you have to do is you can go to our website, ariva.com.ph, and then you can register as early as now. Okay, so I won't be taking much of your time anymore because we still have a lot to discuss this afternoon. So here again is our speaker, Ms. Lynn.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Kate. So we're back. And when we left off before the break, the question that we were asking was, why is it so difficult to think in terms of sustainability and making it succeed in our workplace programs? So let me go back to sharing my slides and we'll pick up where we stopped. Why is sustainability so difficult to achieve? I saw several responses on our chat box, and in many, many ways, you're all correct. Some people have said that sustainability is difficult because of limits in terms of resources. The first idea that I'd like to introduce here to help to address that is the triple bottom line. Our companies should not think in terms of profit alone, but sustainability that's anchored on purpose and that's composed of looking at how we elevate and uplift people, how we take care of our planet, even while we sustain business growth through profit. So remember, the triple bottom line, it's not just about profit alone. And that's where greed comes in, when it's all profit, 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 and you're no longer thinking about people and you're not thinking about the planet. That does not lead to sustainability. Sustainability is at the core of the triple bottom line: people, profit, planet. How do we apply this to our companies today? Think about the people and culture issues in your organization. Sustainability will help to bind you so that you are not bogged down and dragged down by these issues: unhealthy politics, silos, trust issues. These are normally concerns that arise when people are thinking of themselves and their own personal interests. And so then we have overworked people, overwhelmed teams, which leads to disengagement because the focus is simply on rewards. If we elevate our thinking so that we're thinking of a triple bottom line, we're thinking of purpose, we're thinking of how we can help build a better community, these issues suddenly become secondary. And we put aside our personal interests, we put aside unhealthy politics. So how will you do this? You start with yourself. Think, what are the leadership qualities that will elevate your impact? Are you driven by purpose? Are you a strategic thinker? When people do not think the way you do because they're still thinking in terms of personal interests, do you have the courage to call this out and say, let us think in better ways? Are you willing to collaborate when sometimes the people you need to collaborate with are difficult to work with? Right? So it all starts with every leader making sure that he also addresses his own challenges so that his actions are driven by purpose, by strategy. And then you become more innovative, more agile as you collaborate with others because you're not solving problems on your own. And you're looking at people and you're looking at what you can do with technology. So start with yourself. Think about the leadership qualities that will elevate your impact. As part of the international sustainable goals, there's also the inner development goals. It has been observed that the sustainable development goals rolled out by the United Nations are not being achieved precisely because leaders are not equipped to practice the right kind of leadership that will make an impact. Hence, what we need are leaders who would have transformational skills for sustainable development. And that's where the inner development goals come in. What are these? The inner development goals tell us that there are 5 qualities that we need as leaders. We start with 1, being, which is the relationship you have with yourself. You need to have your inner compass. This is the sense of purpose that I was talking about. You need to have an open and learning mindset, aware of where you are in terms of your own gaps, so that you will be able to authentically lead others and continue to develop yourself. We need thinking skills. These are the cognitive skills of critical thinking, being able to deal with complexity, perspective, a long-term orientation, and a sense of vision, which is very, very relevant to developing the strategy for your company. Okay? Then we need to have relating skills in how we collaborate with people coming from different cultures. Trust, mobilization skills. Once you have your vision, once you have your strategy, how do you now mobilize people? Through collaboration. And that leads us now to acting. Not acting in a movie, but being able to take action and enable change. And that's where we call again on courage, creativity, optimism, and perseverance. These are skills that every leader must have. The key is to understand that we need everybody's skills and be firmly committed to synergizing with other leaders, innovating so that we can recreate our organizations and our communities towards a more sustainable future. Sustainable development addresses all of these 5 areas. People, we want to end poverty and hunger in all forms, ensure dignity and equality. In our organizations, this starts with the right reward systems where there is internal equity as well as external equity, comparing and benchmarking your salaries against the market so that we're able to help people not just cope every day, but to rise above and get ahead. We want prosperity in terms of people enjoying prosperous and fulfilling lives in harmony with nature. And I don't talk about prosperity in just material terms. I'm talking about prosperity in terms of spirit, feeling optimistic, feeling fulfilled, seeing your potential develop. That would help us to have peace in our society where we create a more just and inclusive community. The words, "no one is left behind," has been very popular in the past years. I would like to say, think beyond not just no one being left behind, but everyone progressing together, not in just, steps. Some are still a little bit behind, while not totally left behind, but we still have gaps, huge inequalities, but a more equal society. We don't need to be super rich. Hence, when I talk about rewards programs, profit sharing, I think, is very important in the companies where we are. We need to think in terms of concrete actions, how we can translate this into programs that will benefit our people. We can't do this within one organization alone. Hence, we need partnerships through a solid global community where we work together towards building a better planet, protecting our natural resources, looking at how we can control climate disruptions for future generations. For those of you who have children in this program, think, what kind of a world do you want to leave behind for your children to enjoy? And that's where you start thinking sustainable development. Bring it home so that you are inspired to take action in your own small way. Which leads me to my call to actions. What do you need to do? What do we all need to do together? One is educate, train our leaders and our teams on driving sustainability through synergy and innovation. And I congratulate Ariva for thinking of this topic, inviting me to talk about this, because I hope that with this session, we spread the word that we need to think in terms of driving sustainability through synergy and innovation. Each one of us could be that missing person in the puzzle that I have here on my visual aid. We all have a role to play. Bring it home to your organizations, review your current programs, and seek to go beyond ad hoc activities. If your starting point is your little activities on tree planting, clean up drives, on painting classrooms, that's great, but please go beyond that. Use whatever you've learned from this session today to think bigger, wider, more strategically. Go beyond ad hoc activities. The inner development goals, if you paid attention earlier, you would notice that these are goals that are for people development programs to undertake. We shouldn't be just thinking of communication skills just for its own sake, but we think of communication skills helping leaders to develop collaboration by better communication. So always link, why are we building skills? It's not just for the skills alone, but because our skills are meant to serve a higher purpose. And that's the inner development goals leading to achievement of the purpose of our industry, our company, our personal purpose, leading to sustainability for our world. You might say we have many, many problems, and we've encountered many problems in the past. Yes, this is true, and we still have many challenges today. But I would like to leave you with these words from Steve Jobs, the master innovator himself, right? Stop thinking about all the problems yesterday, because yesterday is gone. Let's go invent tomorrow instead. And stop worrying about what happened yesterday. Let me say that one more time, and I invite you to say that to yourself. I know you're on mute, but say it, read this out loud so that you speak it to yourself. Let's go invent tomorrow instead of worrying about what happened yesterday. So I leave you those words. I hope you will get in touch with me through LinkedIn and take this opportunity as well to encourage you to think of your roles bigger than what you're doing today. Be a business partner and growth catalyst. Be a co-creator of experience. Think in terms of being a sustainability and innovation advocate, and drive sustainability through synergy and innovation. Thank you very much. You have been a fantastic audience. I can see the comments on the chat, and we have just 5 minutes left. Kate, if we have questions that you'd like us to address in the program.
Yes, Miss Lynn, thank you so much. Yes, and we have time for questions. For those of you who would like to ask a question, type them here in the chat box. Or if the question is sensitive in nature, send them to me privately so that when I read it, I will not be reading your names. Okay, I have a few questions here already, Miss Lynn.
Sure.
Okay. Okay, here's the first one. How do you see the significant change in HR leadership from before compared to this new generation coming in?
Okay. I'd say I am all for cheering the new generation. I'm seeing more authentic leaders, leaders who care about people and the well-being of their colleagues. It's no longer work, work, work. Unfortunately, the more traditional leaders are still thinking about, simply producing work and productivity. I'm seeing a new generation who will think about a more holistic life, taking care of our people and our communities beyond just the work and productivity that we face every day.
Okay, well, thank you for that. I will move to the next question. Okay, this one is really asking for help, Ms. Lynn. What advice would you give to a small company with only one HR personnel managing all HR functions?
Okay. This is where we need to think of our roles as leaders, those who are not in HR, right? As people leaders. The difficulty is sometimes leaders think every problem, every challenge, every question that has to do with people, you bring it to HR. And so the HR person becomes, catch all, guidance counselor, business partner, strategic leader, well-being support, everything, payroll master, you're doing everything. But coaching, for example, and counseling, it's not the work of HR alone. Coaching is the job of every leader. So for that person in the audience, who's perhaps the one solo person in HR, the first thing you need to do is to educate your fellow leaders in the organization that it is their role to take care of their people, to train, to coach, to lead, to guide. It's not something that HR is meant to do alone. Number two, there are a lot of free technology tools. Sometimes we think that because it's a small company, we cannot afford technology to help us become more efficient. There are a lot of free tools. You just Google and, avail of those that are able to help you become more efficient so you're not bogged down by your administrative processes. So leverage on, remember my keywords earlier, strategy, leadership, and technology. It's your strategy to educate your leaders so that they now think of themselves as people developers. Use technology, and then turn your own leadership impact so that you are strategic in your approach. Choose who you will spend time developing so that you can multiply your efforts and your impact to many more. I hope that helps.
Surely, Miss Lynn. Thank you. Okay, I am seeing several questions with the same theme. So let me read this. How will AI affect the leadership of HR since our role requires human approach to leadership? So several questions asking about how AI can affect HR.
Right. AI is a tool. It's a fantastic tool that can help HR become more efficient, divest of our admin tasks so that we can have more meaningful conversations with people. So use AI for recruiting, screening candidates, use AI for crafting memos, communication campaigns, use AI as a tool wherein you manage routine questions from people who keep, when they're routine questions on policy, practices, you don't have to keep answering the same questions. You can have a chat bot to help you answer those. So think of AI as your colleague, as your partner, another HR colleague to help you to respond to these concerns, which are routine, administrative, operational, and transactional, so that HR can become more strategic and more able to connect in the human way.
Okay, thank you. Thank you so much for that. That was very helpful, I'm sure, for a lot of our participants. We have another question here sent privately to me. How can we influence our CEO on doing sustainability efforts?
Tell him to connect with me on LinkedIn and I'll take care of that. It's very difficult. It's very challenging. And I admire the person who is raising that question. Remember, at the top, the board of directors, company owners, CEOs, these are all human beings as well with their own leadership gaps, their own stages of developing their thinking. Hence, I talked about the inner development goals. These are for everyone at whatever level you are in the organization. For you, if you're not at the top level, the first encouragement I would like to say is you have to have the courage to speak up, to talk about these things, to raise it, when you have a town hall, when you're in meetings, and do it in a tactful way so that you don't threaten or you don't offend. You could simply share, hey, sir, or hey, ma'am, whatever might be the gender of your CEO. I learned something new today from my webinar that I attended. You see, you're coming out very humble. I learned something. You're not saying you're doing something wrong. You're saying, I learned something new today, and I'm so excited to share it. May I share with you? Right? You could just give the link to the websites that I shared earlier, right? And then they will read it, hopefully, and become more enlightened. Or if you're meetings wherein you share about, how can we improve things? Share one or two of the things that you've learned in this webinar so that you start the ball rolling. Think in terms of small steps that can lead to bigger actions and trust the ripple effect. It's like throwing a little stone onto the sea. It creates ripples, and soon you will have more people thinking along these lines. It's not easy, and I really, really admire your thought that how can I do this, right? But start with something small, and it will snowball. And soon you will have a more educated, more enlightened, more woke CEO.
Okay, thank you for that. Okay, next question. Okay, this was very kind of similar. Here's the question. As some organizations belong to traditional industry sectors, wherein there is lack of proactive stand on innovation and would strictly stick to existing policies and ways of doing things. What are examples of current organizational innovation that HR leadership can build a case around so that HR get top management's buy to roll out these org-wide? Okay.
All right. One of the simplest, I would say, innovations that HR can do is to look at your own processes. If we're saying, a lot of industries are traditional and tend to stick to old ways of doing things, let us be honest first with ourselves. Are we still also doing the same things, sticking to our own processes? When you think of recruiting and onboarding, are you using technology? Are you still using onboarding in the, traditional way of gathering your new hires in a classroom or in a face-to-face setting? Or are you now doing it faster, more efficiently by doing a hybrid approach, using e-learning and then using the human touch of coming together, not to lecture, but to collaborate and talk about their experiences as new hires? So you see, these are not complex. These are quite simple processes, but they are innovative because they are leveling up your current practice. It's not easy to innovate when you think about something big right away, because companies will also think in terms of managing risk. But if you think of small steps, incremental changes, then you can introduce innovations, which will help prepare your leadership for the bigger steps.
Okay, thank you. And I think this might be our last question.
Yeah.
Okay, before I read the last question, the link for the feedback form is already here in the chat box. So please make sure you fill out that form and then submit it back to us. That will guarantee that you will be receiving your e-certificate. This is not just for our Zoom participants, but also for those who are watching us via the live stream. You can also get your e-certificate. We are posting the link in the comment section as well. So click that link. Submit it back to us after you fill it out. Thank you so much. And our last question is, let me just check. Okay, this one came from a student. She is a graduating student and she wants to know how can she prepare for her role to become a future ready HR leader.
Very good question. All right. First step of preparation is your own development of your skills, soft skills, as well as technical skills. Use this time, if you're not yet working, to learn as much as you can and build your technical skills. There are a lot of free courses online, a lot of materials that you can read, right? Read, right? Look at current HR trends. Read articles, both local and international. That will help you to, get abreast of what is the current status in the industry or in the profession. At the same time, build on your on developing your personal skills. And I will go back to the inner development goals, right? Build your skills in terms of communicating, in terms of presenting yourself. How do you present yourself? In terms of how can you learn to relate to people, not just through formal ways, but through interactions. That's your interaction skills. So learn to build both your soft skills as well as your technical skills. Not just for fresh grads, but even for all of us, it's really, if you want to be effective, you constantly work on building your skills, both the technical parts and the soft skills as well.
There you go. Thank you so much, Miss Lynn. Thank you so much. You have been very generous this afternoon with the wisdom and knowledge that you have shared to all of our participants. We are truly grateful. That's why we'd like to present you with a certificate. Let me read this. Ariva Academy Learning Development at its finest gratefully presents a certificate of appreciation to Angelina Lynn Muki for imparting her professional expertise, valuable insights, knowledge, and wisdom as resource speaker during the conduct of online learning session entitled Building Future-Ready HR Leadership, Driving Sustainability Through Synergy and Innovation, given the 7th day of November 2025 via Zoom conference, signed by J.M. Matienzo, CEO and Chief Strategist, Learning Event Producer, and Irish Samson, President and Chief Learning and Development Strategist. Ladies and gentlemen, let's give a round of applause for our speaker, Ms. Lynn.
Thank you very much, Kate, and thank you very much, Ariva, JM, and Irish for this honor to contribute to your anniversary offering, as well as our session today on sustainability and driving innovations. My pleasure to be here for everyone.
Thank you, thank you. But we are not yet done because we'd like to have a photo, a group photo with all of our participants who are joining us via Zoom. So if you're able to turn on your cameras, please do so. Please do so. We'd love to see everyone in this group photo with our speaker, Miss Lynn. So yes, please turn on your cameras kung meron, and then we will be assisted by our technical director, Direct Jello.
Okay, yes, thanks so much, Miss Kate. So, good day to everyone. We're taking 2 shots of group photo for this PM session. Are you guys ready? Okay, for first shot, can you show me your biggest smiles? Show me your lovely smiles, everyone. Okay, here we go in 3, 2, 1. Okay, for final shot, can you show us your finger hearts or hand hearts? Okay, show some love in 3, 2, 1. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great day. Back to you, Miss Kate.
Thank you so much, Direct Jello. Again, I would really like to say thank you to all of our participants, especially to those who have been with us since we started. It has been beautiful 19 years of growth, of innovation, of purpose-driven learning, of excellence, striving for excellence, and we spent it all with you. Thank you so much. We are truly humbled for the continued support that you give Ariva Academy, our speakers and our participants, our clients. Maraming salamat. And we are really looking forward to spending the next 19 years of Ariva Academy with all of you again. Thank you, everyone. God bless you all. Maraming salamat. Let's all keep safe. Happy weekend, everyone.
Ariva Academy would like to thank the following win-win partners. Official media partners. Zoe Broadcasting Network. Give Love, Celebrate Life. A to Z. Kumpleto tayo. Light TV. God's Channel of Blessings. Light TV Radio. DZJV. Business Mirror, a broader look at today's business. Manila Standard, defining the news. Digital Media Partners. Globaltronics, leading digital innovation. City Advertising Ventures Corporation, we move your brand. Outcome. Elevate Media. Ariva Academy would also like to thank the following companies. Craving something real? We serve it. Burger King. Top Healthy Chicharon, the healthiest chicharon on the planet. Yummiest cashew nuts. Lotus Biscoff. Daily Fix. Fly Ace Corporation. Purple Rockstar. Be on top, stay on top. Sunlight, helping clients achieve lifetime financial security and live healthier lives. Mighty Tech Advertising and Merchandising. Le Jardin Printing Services. Creative Voices Certified Voice Artist Program. Queen Bee Waxing Salon, where smooth skin begins. Nails.glow, your self-care partner. Samaras Farm and Resort,